so many of you are here, thank you very much for coming. It's really important that we are actually all doing this, and particularly going ahead when there's been so much political turbulence recently. So we're incredibly grateful for you all doing this, and it's really encouraging to see this big movement to Make Votes Matter. So Make Votes Matter is the national campaign for proportional representation in the House of Commons. We're a single issue campaign. And we have made huge progress over the last 3 years since we came into existence, thanks to all of you. So there's real shifts happening in all sorts of areas as a consequence of you all being active.
Now look, they will say to you, why are you here today? And as Klina's already said, it's actually a very good opportunity to be making the case for the fact that our political system, our electoral system, is not working. We used to be told that we had to have first past the post because it gave responsibility and therefore direction and credibility to a government. We used to be told that it was essential to have that system because it gave clarity to members of Parliament to where their loyalties lay. What you need to be saying to them today is, look, the system is simply not working. That's what PR does. It gives you truly representative MPs. Not only are we being cheated as voters, but the MPs are not getting a satisfactory deal out of fast past the post. So use the opportunity of the current collapse of confidence in the government and in the political system to demonstrate that this is a hot topic for today.
You are the answer. This is the answer. One of the reasons that there has been so much division in society, in Parliament, within families, is that people voted in the EU referendum and their voices were heard in that every vote counted. That's really unusual. In our system, you get MPs with a tiny proportion of the vote, and again, as Paul has said, that's not fair to the voter nor to the MP themselves. And so one way to actually heal this division is to demonstrate to people that their vote counts, that every voice will be heard, and proportional representation can do that. It can actually give you the sort of MP you really, really want.
Lobby when we're in the middle of the Brexit omni-shambles, and I just wanted to say that I think it's precisely because we are in the middle of the Brexit omni-shambles that it is so important that we're lobbying about our governance system and what's wrong with our governance system, because I think you could make a really strong argument to say that if there had been a form of an electoral system that listened to people for the last few decades so people could make their voices heard on a whole range of domestic issues, we probably wouldn't have ended up with the Brexit vote that we have. And that's not to say that some people who voted Brexit were voting about the EU. I've no doubt some were. But certainly in my experience of going around the country, the vast majority of people who were voting to leave were voting because they think the situation in this country is intolerable. And in many ways, I think they're absolutely right. I think it's so shocking to see just how unequal this country is. We are a country of grotesque inequalities. It feels to me that there are so many reasons why it's crucial that we give people back power, even if we don't necessarily like, what they do with it. The point is, we need to be in a country where power is far more dispersed than it is today.
But what you do and what Make Votes Matter do, and all of the other campaigns in this area that I believe so passionately in are doing, is addressing the causes. And that's often a much harder thing to do. Much easier to react to events when they occur and get very angry about them, and you can sense the frustration and the exasperation in the chamber and all over the parliamentary estate at the moment. But it's much more important that we get to the root causes of it, and I believe firmly that the root cause of our problem is our electoral system.
I mean, as you know, my party's been campaigning for proportional representation since long before my grandfather was born, let alone me. It's long been a cause, and just underlines the need for the kind of reforms which you're fighting for. So thank you for what you're doing. I think it's terribly important you keep arguing this case, terribly important that you try to influence other parties of the case for PR, and carry on the good work. And thank you for coming.
Sooner rather than later. And I hope as we go into that we can persuade all of the opposition parties to adopt a policy of looking seriously at electoral reform. And after that election, they will be able to come together to deliver a modern constitution, a modern electoral system that allows the people of this country proper democratic free expression that is practiced in most other countries in the world.
Thank you, Tommy. Thanks, Tommy, for hosting us. How topical is that to talk about divisions in politics at the time that the division bell is actually ringing? You can't get more topical than that. And as we were around Westminster, when the bell goes, that's one of two things. They either have to go and vote, or Laura Kuenssberg wants an interview. Really. Although it is quite humbling, when you're standing in the heart of Westminster, aware that the decisions affecting the future of this country are being taken, literally a few hundred miles away in The Hague and Berlin and Brussels and Madrid and wherever else Theresa May is going on holiday.
Obviously, the thing about proportional representation is that everyone is represented proportionally and everyone should be represented proportionally. And we are, of course, fully cross-party campaign because everybody should be heard and all of those arguments should be held in the proper place. So every argument should be put under scrutiny. And the thing with real democracy, of course, is that it is self-correcting. So if there's any party that's not doing what we expect of them, in a real democracy we can vote them out.